Well, good morning, everybody. It's day 3. I slept like awful last night. So I have pretty much concluded that my hammock gear quilt is just not wide enough. So we'll give you another update on my sleep system. My hammock gear quilt, on the other hand, is not wide enough for ground sleeping. And I thought when I purchased it that, well, I'll be able to get away with the weight savings of not going wide, and it'll be okay. So yeah, the Hammock Gear Burrow 40 is what I'm sleeping in, and I've had some fairly cold nights of sleep. We'll see. Might have to sell it.
No guys, the title of this video is not clickbait, and yes, I did sell my Hammock Gear Burrow Econ quilt, and I've replaced it with 2 other items that I think fit my needs a little bit more. And so what I want to do in this video is talk about why I sold that quilt, because I talked about it a lot. I showed it in various videos, but I never ended up doing a review on it. And I'm a little bummed that I didn't do that, but I'm excited to talk about why I have these 2 items in front of me and why I chose to sell that quilt and replace it with these 2 items. So let me talk about some of the things that led up to making that decision to sell the quilt. Now, what I purchased was the 40 degree with 1 ounce of extra fill Burrow Econ quilt from Hammock Gear. It was a fantastic product. I was actually really happy with it, but I made some poor decisions personally in how I thought through why I wanted to purchase the certain specs of that quilt that I wanted. First thing is, as I've gotten older, I've realized now, after this season of backpacking, being out several nights and whatnot, that I sleep colder than I used to. And I don't know what has changed, if my metabolism has changed, but that's an important aspect to how I have chosen these particular products here in front of me, which we'll get to here in a second. But as I've gotten older, I'm sleeping colder than I used to. And so when I purchased a 40 degree bag, I thought, well, that'll be really great for summer. But I found out that in the high alpine, high altitude settings that I like to spend my time backpacking in the summer, you still get cold nights. And I just ended up being colder while I was sleeping than I wanted to be. So I've learned now that I need something that is going to be a lot warmer than 40 degrees. So that was the first personal mistake that I made in purchasing that. The second mistake I made in purchasing that quilt is I went with the 50-inch wide version instead of the, I want to say it's 55-inch, but maybe it's 52. Not totally sure, but I just went with the regular width 50-inch on that quilt, and for ground sleeping, totally was not wide enough to really capture the heat as I tossed and turned throughout the night. And regardless of using pad straps or whatnot, I still would end up with the quilt getting pulled over and basically all of the hot air escaping from my sleep system. And so I slept a lot colder because of that. Now, the one big negative about that quilt that really was a decision maker in why I chose to get rid of it is I had issues with the snaps in the foot box. Pretty much every single time I slept in it, when I'd get into it, I'd move around, I would have the top 2 snaps come undone. And it didn't matter how they were put together or whatnot, the snaps just didn't come undone. And yes, I could have contacted Hammock Gear and said, hey, can you help me figure out a way to fix these? I could have sent the quilt back to them. But because I made those personal mistakes of not getting a wide enough quilt and getting something that wasn't a low enough degree rating, I just decided that let's just move on from that and let's get another product that I'm really excited about. And so that's where these 2 things come into play. Now, the reason I've got 2 is one is a quilt and one is a sleeping bag. And I justified myself a little bit because I've been really interested in this particular product here. This is the Sierra Designs Cloud 800 degree, 800 fill, 20 degree down sleeping bag. So this is a zipperless design, and what I'm excited about with this is kind of that like innovation that Sierra Designs has put into their products as of late. But it does have a lot of like quilt ish style features. So zipperless design, it just has this like opening here that basically allows you to climb into the bag, and when you climb into it, you just wrap the quilt, this top part, over top of you, and then you've got all of your draft points taken care of. So fairly lightweight, it's under 2 pounds and 20 degrees. The EN rating on this is more like 28 degrees, so it's going to be great for giving me that below freezing temperature comfort level, which I'm excited about. And it just has that really great Sierra Designs quality. The other aspect about it that I was really excited about is this foot vent that Sierra Designs has put into their sleeping bags. And I have not spent any nights in this yet. I'm going to be having this out for a weekend here in a couple weeks, and I'm excited about taking that. The other thing that I acquired in this quest is the new Outdoor Vitals top quilt, the down top quilt. And I'm not going to get into a lot of the specs of this, but this is their 15 degree version. And this I got in the long wide. And so the reason I did the long wide is so that it would be really great for ground sleeping, as well as I wanted to have the ability, with me being 5'9", to pull the quilt over top of me and really have like my head covered with it being a 15 degree version. Now I do have the Perea Outdoor Products Thermodown 15 degree quilt. I love that thing, but this has a much better weight savings compared to that Perea quilt. But the question will be, does this have the temperature rating that Perea quilt has? Because that Perea quilt has been incredibly warm. And so I'm excited about this. It does have a sewn foot box, which is different from my Perea quilt. And so I'm excited about that. It doesn't have the zipper, so that saves some weight. It did come with pad straps, so I'm excited about that. But the baffles on this, I noticed that, and it's not really a fair argument when you first pull a bag out of from the manufacturer, the down is going to be shifted in weird ways. And so I had to shake this around a little bit, and holding it up to the sun, I noticed that some of the baffles had kind of like odd placement of the down, and it was kind of difficult to figure out how to get that into the right places so that it wasn't having any cold spots. Again, I haven't spent any nights in this. This is just to show you that, hey, I sold my Hammock Gear quilt. This is what I've replaced that quilt with. And it's a system that I spent a little bit more time researching, focused on, and tried to really find something that I was going to be really excited about. The Sierra Designs bag, this Cloud 800, super excited about this. This Outdoor Vitals bag, just excited to give this a test and see the Outdoor Vitals quality. I know that they are trying to really focus on going ultralight. And so between these two pieces of gear, 15 degrees, 20 degrees, but more of like a 25 to 28 degree on the Sierra Designs, just a great option, guys. I'm really excited about this. So that's what I replaced with my Hammock Gear quilt. Sorry you never saw a review of that quilt, but you can kind of get an idea of what might have been included in that. So there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. As always, have a fantastic day.